thought that I could give some remarks in her absence. So here we go. My contribution and my task this morning and this opening ceremony for the enumerators training is really to underscore the importance of the Anguilla Population and Housing Census 2022 and the key role of enumerators in ensuring that it is conducted in keeping with the required standards. The census of population and housing is conducted every 10 years and is a requirement by law. It is a huge undertaking which requires extensive planning and dedicated effort by many people. Anguilla's last census of population and housing was conducted in 2011 as part of the 2010 round of censuses conducted in CARICOM. And as you know, Anguilla is a member state of CARICOM, like Anguilla is an associate member. Such is the importance of the census that there is an established framework both regionally and locally to drive the process. In the region, there is a regional census coordinating committee reporting to the Standing Committee of Caribbean Statisticians, and our own chief statistician, Mrs. Eileen Franklin, is a member of that committee. The Standing Committee of Caribbean Statisticians in turn reports to the CARICOM Community Council of Ministers, and again, Anguilla is represented on that body. It would be through the Honourable Premier. Locally here in Anguilla, there is the National Census Advisory Committee, which is chaired by the Chief Statistician as coordinator, and who reports to the Permanent Secretary, Mrs. Shanna Petty Barrett, and who, as I said earlier, would report to the Honourable Minister of Economic Development, Mr. Kyle Hodge, who in turn reports to Executive Council. The 2020 round of census of population and housing was due to be conducted in Anguilla in 2021. However, due to the financial and other considerations arising from the ongoing global COVID-19 pandemic, the 2021 census did not occur. Recognizing the importance of the census, the government of Anguilla, as announced by the Honourable Premier and Minister of Finance in the 2022 budget address presented on January 4, 2022, committed some $1.2 million in funding to the capital budget of government. Data and analysis coming out of the 2022 census of population and housing overall will contribute to evidence-based decision-making in terms of policy. For example, in the 2022 budget address, the Honourable Premier and Minister of Finance also announced the intention to implement a minimum wage framework in Anguilla as part of the Government of Anguilla's policy agenda. The outputs from the census will therefore form key inputs in the consideration for the establishment of a minimum wage framework in Anguilla. Planning for the 2022 census has been underway for many months now. And because it is undertaken every 10 years, the census of population and housing presents a unique opportunity to capture changes in the condition of the population. And because it deals with the entire population, as I've stated earlier, it is a huge undertaking. It does not get done by magic, and indeed, a successful census in large part depends on having a cohort of well-trained, well-motivated, and dedicated enumerators. The role of the enumerator is multifaceted, but perhaps the key factor is to have the confidence of the public, and that comes by demonstrating that as an enumerator, you know your job well. And as an enumerator, you can only know your job well if you have been given the requisite training and guidance. That is the purpose of today's workshop, to expose you to the technical requirements of your task, as well as to expose you to the soft or the human relation aspects of what is required in terms of interviewing people of varying temperaments and dispositions. In terms of the technical aspects, as time goes on, so does technology. So, as I said, the last census was in 2011, and we are now in 2022. Consequently, as announced by the chief statistician, Mrs. Eileen Franklin, in a recent Government of Anguilla press conference, one of the innovations of the 2020 round of censuses will be the use of tablet-assisted personal interviewing, so-called TAPI. Though most of you may well have some trepidation about what you're required to undertake, I trust that by the end of this workshop, such doubts, if any, would have been well and truly banished. As enumerators, you are to be thanked for volunteering for this job, which is of critical national importance, and you are assured that you will be supported in getting the job done to the highest level. Thanks must also be extended to the facilitators who will provide the training. What you will impart to the enumerators in terms of technical knowledge and guidance will be invaluable to them and enable them to carry out their tasks. Again, thanks for agreeing to be part of this training. And with that, and without further ado, I declare this census enumerators training workshop open, and to all enumerators, every success in the Anguilla Population and Housing Census 2022. And I think it's also fitting to say, I guess you all will know the tagline.
Moment is to provide for you a brief overview of a population and housing census. During the course of the week, we will get more details on the intricacies and the details of each component of the census. But a census planning begins years before the actual data collection date. In Anguilla, we started our planning in 2018 in preparation for the 2021. But as we have heard, the situation at the time did not permit us to deliver on a census. Countries all around the world participate in censuses. This one is known as a population and housing census. However, on occasions, persons do agricultural censuses. But most of the time when you hear about censuses, they relate to population and housing. In the region, there's only one country, Bermuda, who does it every 5 years. Anguilla does it every 10 years. A census is a huge undertaking, and we have determined to do it every 10 years. On this occasion, we'll use the TAPI. In previous years, answer. A census has a number of stages. There's the planning stage, the preparation for fieldwork stage, the publicity stage, which is critical because we want as many persons to participate without much need for continuous returning to the household. So you play a part as well in ensuring that persons participate. The training we provide today will provide you with some steps, tips, and guidance on how to encourage people to participate. In the work of planning a census, we also had a census advisory committee. Some of the members are here today. I would like for you to stand, please. Those who are part of the census advisory committee, please stand quickly. Okay, these are some of the members of the census advisory committee. I want to ask Kaisha Gums-Billy to come forward. And usually we aren't able to pay people tangibly a lot when we ask them to do stuff. But I must show our appreciation. By now, Mrs. Bibby would have been forward in participating and assisting us in the planning of the census. Please come forward. Of our appreciation for the work done to assist us with the planning of the census.
Good morning once our online platform, the households. We would like to thank you for being here with us today to embark on to help us to continue, I should actually say, as we have been planning the census for years, continue on this journey to carry out the 7th Anguilla Population and Housing Census. This morning, we open the ceremony with the Anguilla Population Housing Ceremony for the interviewers phase, for the census enumerators and supervisors. Our enumerators, interviewers, and supervisors are key to the data collection phase, as they are the key to the data collection process of any statistical undertaking, and are therefore pivotal to our success in the population and housing and census. This training is aimed to assist us in gathering the data that we require to provide meaningful information for policymakers, planners, to make informed decisions, and for our researchers, etc. Dr. Harrigan would have gone through some of the aspects of training, all right, what is expected of our enumerators, and Ms. Franklin, all right, and we are always there and will be there to support you all in this journey. It will be tough, but we are looking for your dedication. As indicated also by Dr. Harrigan and Ms. Franklin, this census was going on for many years, and we are now changing our process in the way in which we collect the data from our pen and paper interviewing to now to our computer assist, which will be done by TAPI. Now we all know that technology will come with its advantages and disadvantages, but I'm asking also for all the householders, all right, to be patient with us when we probably may encounter these challenges. I usually would say to my boss that we are beggars of information. However, the Anguilla Statistics Department would like to encourage every single household who's watching today, and for you all to also encourage householders to complete the enumeration and collecting the data that is required. Additionally, I would like to also thank those that were here who was able to assist us in carrying out this ceremony, Dr. Harrigan, Mr. Richardson, our Honourable Kyle Hodge for being here, for Dykes for also being here to set up and also to help make it possible for us to view online as well. Enumerators, I would wish you good luck. I hope that you will stay with us to the end and make it a successful census as we try to make everything adds up. Thank you very much.
Okay, we are going to take a 5-minute break. We have tea and coffee in the back. If you wish to have a little tea or coffee, you can step to the back, and we want to come back promptly in 5 minutes.